Hey everyone, this is Mukesh Otwani once again from learn-information.com. So in this lecture, I will be talking about how you can automate the complete script using Selenium with Python. So in the last lectures, we already discussed how to work with radio button checkboxes, input box, dropdowns, right? But today I will be using all of the concepts that we discussed so far and will try to automate the Facebook login or registration page. So if you see this registration page of Facebook, the moment I click on this button, you can see one is button included, then we have input boxes, then we have phone number, then we have drop down, we have radio button, and again we have few links followed by the button, right? So I will be using all the concepts that we discussed so far and will try to implement the same here. So let's do one thing, let's quickly create our new program, or I will say new Python file, and we'll try to automate this. So I will create a new Python file and I will say this is Facebook. Okay, and now finally we need to start working with Chrome browser or Firefox or Edge. It's totally up to you. Okay, so I will be showing you a small thing now. In the last lectures, couple of viewers are facing issue where they are not able to understand how to remember all this import statement. Okay, because sometimes it's very tricky to remember all these import statements. So I will give you a quick solution. You don't need to remember all the import statement. Okay, let's say you familiar now that in order to work with Selenium WebDriver, we need to use WebDriver, and then we need to use Chrome, Firefox, Edge browser, or whichever browser you want. So let's say I want to work with Chrome. Now, if you don't remember like from where to import this, you just put mouse over, okay, and you can see this is small icon, right? Just click on this small icon and you will see the first option called import this name. The moment you click here, you can see it is asking you from where you want to import, right? So you just say the last one where it will automatically say from Selenium import WebDriver. So this is automatically imported by PyCharm. So it says from Selenium import WebDriver. Perfect. Now in the last lectures we already seen, like if you go back to our previous programs, we were using service class and we were passing the driver.exe file, right? Now let's say same thing if I want to use. So definitely I need service class object, so I will say service. Okay, just hold on, just say service. And now again you don't remember which module or package you need to import, so again click here, import this name, and it will give you suggestion which service you want. Okay, so I need finally service from Chrome, right? You can see we also have a common service, but we are looking specific only for Chrome service. So you can see it imported automatically, like from selenium.webdriver.chrome.service, import the service class, right? Now in the service class, we already know that we need to provide the driver, right? I already have a driver in this location, so I will simply copy paste so that I don't have to remember this path. Now finally, we just need to provide that we are going to use a service, that service object we created as, and we are good to go. So this we already discussed, so I'm just quickly writing from the scratch. In case if you're new to this video, you haven't seen the previous videos, I will give all the videos link in the description. Please go ahead and watch. We discussed so many things about Selenium with Python till now. Okay, now once we are done, finally I need to maximize my browser, so I will use maximize window method. Then I will provide the application URL, which is nothing but our facebook.com. So let me quickly copy this and paste here. Now once we are done, I need to click on this button, right? So I need to identify this. So just click on this arrow and just inspect this. As you can see, this is actually a button. Sorry, this is actually a hyperlink with role as button. Now if you see, we have one more child node here. So the moment you expand, you can see we have a text here called create new account, right? So I will be using this text and I will write a small x path and I will say find a web element. I will use wildcard as star, and I'm looking for a text called create new account, and you can see one of one matching node. It means this x path is valid. Now as we have seen that we need to use now by class. So first of all, I will say driver.find element, right? Now I need to use by class, so I will say by dot xpath, and I have to provide the xpath value here. Okay, Now this you can see now this is not importing. So again click here, got this icon, click import, and here you go, it imported the bike class. Once we are done, I need to click on this, right? So I will say click. So this particular statement will find this particular button and it will click on this button and it will open up this particular small window. It's actually not a window, guys, it's just a small pop-up which is on top of, or I will say it is overlapping with the existing web page we have. So it's not something we need to switch and do that. You can directly start working on this. Now just need to focus one thing, guys. The moment you click here, you will notice it takes 2 to 3 seconds and then this sign up window is coming, right? Or sign up pop up. Again, just notice, click here, wait for 2 seconds and then this sign up pop up is coming. So I need to give the weight here, right? Now we haven't discussed about implicit weight. So I will do one thing, I will say time dot sleep and I will give maximum weight of, let's say, 3 seconds, okay? So again, it is not able to understand what is time. So just put mouse over, click on this icon, import this, and it is going to give you suggestion that how you want to import. So I just want to import this time module and you can see it imported. What next? Now finally we need to simply do our operation here. So let me just inspect this and you can see we got name, we got area label ID. So guys, there's a small catch here. As you can see, this ID is not that reliable as of now. It says U_M_B. But if you notice, the name looks quite promising. So I'm going to use this name. Okay, and again I will say driver.findElement by dot name, and I will use this name, and again I will say send keys. Now we already discussed, right? In order to type something we have to use send keys method, and now I will say that I want to enter, let's say Mukesh, okay, some random text I'm giving. Why it is giving error? Okay, it's a temporary one. Now let's do one thing, let's do the same thing for other as well, which is nothing but our last name. As you can see, same thing, I'm getting ID here U_M_D, but again we have a name here. So instead of doing the same thing, I will simply just change this, which is name, and I will give this name as Otwani. Okay, now finally once it will enter username password, then I will quickly enter the phone number. So for phone number, if you see guys, again we have a ID, we have a text, we have a name, and we also have a name attribute here called registered email. Okay, so I'm going to use this, or you can use this placeholder area label as well, which is quite promising, but again I'm going to use this name. So let me copy this, okay, and here I will just take this name, and here I will give some email, which is mukesh@gmail.com, some random email which does not exist as of now. Same thing let's do for password. Okay, and you can see now, yes, we have required password and we also have a ID now. This time you can see guys, ID is little different. It says password step input, so I can use this time ID because this looks good. I will say driver.findElement by dot ID, okay, and I will use this ID, and finally I will say send keys. Again I will use some dummy number, let's say this number, okay, and let's work with drop downs now. Okay, so guys, we discussed already in detail that how do we work with drop down. So we need to use select class, but before we use select class we need to identify this drop down, right? So let's say I want to select a specific day. So as you can see, we have a name, we have ID, we have a title. We already discussed name and ID, but let's use this title this time. So again I will write a XPath where I will search for a select tag, where I will look for title tag, and I will simply search for day. Okay, so you can see one matching node, And in order to work with dropdown, we need to select class. So I will say cell equal to select class. I will just create object of select class. So now we need to import select as well. So again, if you see here, it is giving us option to import. Yes, just import this name, and now you can see it is asking, do you want to import select for this particular model or from this? So we will select from the Selenium WebDriver, and here we go, it imported the select class as well. Now this select class is totally independent, right? You need to tell for which particular web element you want to apply this. So I will use now web element, where I will simply say that we have our web element. So find this element by this XPath which you have written, and now this select class object will be ready to work with this particular dropdown. Let's say I want to select a 10th. Now let's use this cell, and I will say select by visible text. Okay, we discussed already select by visible text, value, index, and everything, right? So in case if you haven't seen that video, please go ahead and watch, because we discussed this in detail. So I will give you all the links in the description. Okay, so right now we are using this select, and if you see the options that I want to select is, let's say 10th. So I will use this 10. Okay, so let's pass 10 here, and then let's say again I want to select different month. Right now it's November, let's say I want to select July. So first of all I need to identify this drop down, which is again month. So again I can take name, ID, title, let's take name this time. So same thing guys, if you want to do in the same way. So again let's do one thing, let's call this as a day, so that you should have a proper name. Now I will take this as a month, and here I will again create object of select class, and here I will pass the web element, and here I am using name, right? And once we get this month object, I will again say select by visible text. So in our case we want to select, let's say July, so I will give JUL. At last I want to select a specific year, right? So I need to identify this, and here we have same thing, name, ID. Let's take name once again. I will give this object name as year, and I will simply create object of select class driver dot find element by dot name. So it's by dot name, and then I will provide the name value. Finally we'll say year dot select by visible text, and let's say 2000. Okay, so it is going to select 10th July 2000, and then we just need to click on these radio buttons. So let's say I want to select this particular input. Okay, as you can see here we have first of all the label, right? And we also have this particular radio button. So you can see here we have a type, we have a class, we have a name, we have a value. So if you just notice guys, whether I click on this label or if I click on this radio button, both should be fine. So let's say I want to click on mail. So this is the label. I'm going to write a small XPath. I will say find a label where text equal to mail. Okay, and you can see one of one is matching. So again I will simply say driver dot find element by dot XPath. This is the XPath value, and dot click. That's all. At last I want to click on sign up. So this is the sign up text which is coming. I will use the sign up text once again. I will search for a text called sign up. I'm using a wildcard here. Okay, so again you can see guys, it is matching with 4 of 4. So let's do one thing. Let's call this as a button. Okay, so that it should not match. So now I'm using button, and we got two things. One is this, one more is there, which is somewhere at different position, and you can see it's hidden one. Okay, so don't worry, This is the feature from Selenium side, that if your XPath is matching with multiple nodes, and if you see the first one is exactly matching with what we are looking for, it is going to click on this one. So we have written this text called sign up. Now let's do one thing. Driver.find element by .xpath, and let's pass this XPath and say .click. Okay. So just to give you a small recap now, what we are doing, first of all, we are creating object of service class. We are providing the driver path. We are creating a Chrome instance. We are passing this service. You can directly give the driver path as well with executable path, but that is deprecated. So we are going with this approach. We are maximizing the window, opening the application. We are clicking on create new account. Then we are giving a sleep of 3 seconds. Why we are giving? Because that particular pop-up, which is sign up pop-up, is coming after 3 seconds. It's not a separate pop-up that you don't have to switch. Okay, it's just a overlapping pop-up. So we have given time sleep of 3 seconds. Then we're entering first name, last name, email address, phone number. Then we're selecting date of birth. So I'm giving a random date, 10th July 2000. Clicking on mail checkbox, and finally clicking on sign up. Okay, let's right click, run, and see how it behaves. Okay, so it is going to come up, create new account, 3 seconds, and it will fill all these details. Okay, and you can see it is again asking me this field actually we have missed, right? That re-enter the email address. So let's quickly do this. For this particular web element, what we have name called registered email confirmation. Okay, makes sense. So let's do one thing, same thing, driver.find element by name, registered email confirmation, and I'm going to give the same email, okay, which is mukesh@gmail.com. And here we go. Let's right click, run once again. Let me close the previous one, and yeah, it's running fine. Clicked on button, wait for 3 seconds, and here we go. As you can see, okay, it did the sign up, but since we have not given the valid entries, it is not giving me any output. Our main motto was just to fill this form, that we did, and it was very quick and super easy. We just used all the concept that we discussed in the previous video. Okay, now just a small thing which I want to highlight. Now in case if you don't want to give this thread.sleep, because right now it is coming after 3 seconds, but what if it is coming after 5 seconds, 10 seconds, maybe 20 seconds? In that case, this approach will fail, right? So now we are going to use implicitly wait. Okay, we'll discuss about implicitly wait in detail, but for the time being, you can mention that how much time you want to wait if the element is not present immediately. Okay, so let's say if I give time to wait is, let's say 30, or let's say 10. Okay, so before throwing no such element exception, it is going to wait maximum 10 seconds. If element is coming within 2 seconds or 3 seconds, it will move on. Okay, we'll discuss about implicitly wait in detail, but for the time being, just one line definition, that before throwing any exception, it is going to wait maximum of 10 seconds. Okay, as you can see, it accepts the amount of time in millisecond. If within this time period we got the web element, it will continue, otherwise it will fail. And it's a global wait, so it will be applicable for all the web elements. Now just to show you, okay, let's run this test once again, and you can see it is very quick. Earlier we gave time dot sleep of 3 seconds, so it was coming after 3 seconds, right? But since we have given implicit wait, it is moving so fast that the moment we got first name, it is running. And now it is asking further code, and now we cannot do that because we have given a random email, right? I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you have learned something new from this. In case if you're new to this channel, guys, then make sure you subscribe this channel, like this video, share with your friends, and in case if you find any issue let me know in the comment section, or you can send me an email as well to my email, which is mukeshotwani@learn-automation.com. Thank you so much, guys. Have a nice day. Bye bye.